Hi guys, coming up on tonight's programme, I take a visit to Monaghan town where I pop into Mallons Craft Butchers. I have a chat with Brendan Mallon about the history of his business. We also talk about Mallon's famous handmade chicken goujons. I have a chat with Scobie and Junior to find out more about their marinades, and in my pop-up cookery school competition I meet the 3 finalists in Monaghan's Young Chef of the Year. There is so much more in tonight's show, but first I chat to Brendan Mallon about how Mallon's Craft Butchers was established. So Brendan, I can really see it in your eyes that you're passionate about your business. Tell us a little bit about it here in Monaghan.
Well, Adrian, you're very, very welcome to Monaghan. Mallons here in Monaghan, and the history of our business goes back to the late 1800s, 1900, where my great-grandfather was involved in the family business then, where he was in live exporting. My grandfather then was in the cattle business, and then my father then came into the butchery business.
So it goes back through a generation, or
it's gone back into three generations.
3 generations, wow.
But then my own family, they're also into it. But we're now heading for the 5th generation.
Wow, so it's amazing. So tell us about your great-grandfather. I believe he made it into the Irish Times in 1905.
He sure did. He had a case where he was actually shipping cattle. He was shipping 90 cattle to Norwich in England, and the train crashed and he lost 13 cattle on the train, which was a sad and a big loss at the time. But the incident ended up in court in London, and thanks be to goodness, he won his case in England in 1905, which was quite a feat then to do so.
When did you move to Monaghan then, your family?
My father moved to Monaghan in 1942. He came to open a butcher shop in Monaghan town. His uncles had butchers in Castleblaney since the early 1900s, 1905, 1910. So he had worked in his uncle's shops in Castleblaney, and then moved to Monaghan in 1942 to open his own shop.
And this is it here?
We moved. We were on the high street for nearly 40 years.
40 years?
More, actually. We were on the high street for 50 years, I believe.
Wow.
And then we moved into the shopping centre 17 years ago, 1998.
Wow.
So 1998, yeah.
Tell me what vision your father had.
Well, when he moved to Monaghan, he came across the pencil. I remember them as a child, but I only came across them funny at Christmas time last year, where he called himself a victualler and a poulterer. And on his pencil that he had printed at the time, it said, "Pork and beef sausages fresh daily." Now we have Mallons sausages are now famous all across Ireland, and it was his vision then, and it's great now at this stage. It has achieved what it has achieved, and we still have our traditional butcher shop to the core, which is our core main business as well.
He was probably one of the only guys in Ireland really doing poultry at the time, was he?
In the poultry concept, yeah, I remember as being a child growing the chickens on the farm and having to pick the chickens from the farm to the shop and to do all the work inside.
And plucking them and everything.
Plucking them, all that type of work. Growing them, plucking them.
Did you do that as a kid?
As a child.
Wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and that is all moved on. Then the whole area of Monaghan, Cavan has become synonymous with chickens for the past 40 years.
And now at the moment, where do you get your chickens from?
All our chickens come from local farmers here. We have Manor Farmer just down the road in Shercock. We would source a lot of our chicken product from there as well.
Brilliant. They're Cavan men, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, they're good Cavan men.
They're hard to beat the Cavan man.
There you go. Scobie and Junior are known to your local craft butchers for adding value to food. A major part of Scobie and Junior's success is built on providing their customers with a level of service and a range of quality assured products that is second to none. In tonight's episode, I speak to Derek of Scobie and Junior about their mouth-watering marinades. Derek, you have a beautiful curry marinade here, so tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, as I say, it's a traditional curry, so it's very full of tandoori flavours, like coriander. But it's not just obviously about the marinade that we do. We supply the tray, we supply a full range of products ranging from machinery, film, twine, all different types of packaging, casing, burger mixes, sausage mixes, dry marinades. There's a full range of products that we supply.
Wow, so there is really nearly everything bar the meat.
Yeah, I mean essentially our logo is adding value to food. So anywhere we can add value to food, we will.
Yeah, brilliant. So you have a lovely bit of chicken here. You have.
Yep.
And what are we going to do with this here?
Well, we've got our tandoori flavoured curry, just a marinade. So essentially what would happen in the butchers, you would get your chicken breast like so, put it into a tray, and then you would just apply, and then within 5-10 minutes it's ready to cook.
So it tenderises the meat?
It tenderises it. It's a marinade, so the marinades traditionally will seep into the product, help tenderise it, so you get a more succulent chicken.
Oh, I'm getting hungry here. So yeah, that sounds amazing. And a lovely curry flavour on your chicken. You can also do it with different...
Yeah, you could, again, it's all down to, different tastes. You could add it with beef, add it with lamb. It's very traditional with curry. So yeah, there's a whole range of uses for it.
So if the folks at home want this marinade, where can they get it?
They can get it from the local craft butcher, but if they don't stock it, the local craft butcher can buy it from scobiesdirect.com.
That's brilliant. So there's actually a lovely colour to it, and it smells amazing as well. So there's that lovely aroma of the coriander coming out from there as well. And I actually cannot wait to try this. Here we go. Again, there's lovely like Indian sort of spices in there. You probably have garam masala. I can sort of smell it coming through. So that's like a mixture of spices.
And again, butchers can pour it over like you're doing just now, or some of them like to get a little brush, paste it on.
I go back to Brendan Mallon in Monaghan Town to talk about his latest development of Hilden Farm Foods and his famous gourmet chicken goujon range. It has taken Brendan a lifetime of hard work to perfect this famous product. Brendan, tell me, what is Hilden Farm Foods and where did you get the name from?
Well, Hilden Farm Foods, Adrian, is a product that we have developed inside in our own store. 20 years of breading chicken. We've been breading it for the kids in the local area, and they have just been we're synonymous for this thing called a goujon roll. And it has just built on and built on, where some customers came to me about 3-4 years ago to ask me to could we do it in the raw product, but it was always cooked. We always had it cooked. So we then decided to look at the raw product, and we have ended up now with breaded goujon.
So you've expanded Hilden Food Farms not only in Monaghan but all around Ireland itself.
Yes, Adrian, we were so successful with the chicken product that we decided to expand the whole product range, and we now offer to a lot of the craft butchers around Ireland who are selling the product and who are very, very happy with the product. Solely because it is a very unique tasting product. It is full muscle, whole Irish chicken. It is just the real Ali Daly, as we would say here.
And you told me you've worked on the recipe for years.
The recipe comes with the family.
Wow. So
it's part of the secret. There is a secret into this recipe. Yes, it's come back into where we have been with the sausage. Whereas again, we're synonymous with the sausage and the sausage recipe. We have the same recipe. It's part of we know our seasonings and we know our flavours. Wow. So it is our game.
So you've worked on it for how many years now?
I've worked on it all my life.
All your life? Wow.
All my life. I was that size rearing chickens, and now 20 odd years ago we were cooking them, and now we're manufacturing them. It's been an ongoing story, and it's been great. It has been great, yes.
Back home in Bomboy, I will show you how easy it is to roast a chicken on any given day of the week. Okay guys, I'm going to do an absolute beautiful piece of chicken here today for you. Really good on a Sunday lunch. I was in Monaghan today and Brendan gave me a 1600 gram chicken and I cannot wait to get cooking it. So we have, again, 1600 gram chicken. It's important when you're cooking any type of meat at all that you bring it to room temperature. If you cook it from cold, you'll overcook it on the outside and undercook it on the inside. So it's important then that you have that at room temperature. So for your butter, all you need is a little bit of softened butter in there. Get your spoon and give it a good mix. Okay, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grate in the zest of a lemon. So what you do is just literally, in you go there. And we're going to keep this lemon here as well. And we're going to stuff the chicken with it, so it's going to be absolutely beautiful. The aroma of this lemon is absolutely amazing and it just gives the chicken that sort of citrusy flavour that it needs to really lift it. Okay, so in you go with your zest there. We're going to add in a fresh thyme then as well. So just a few sprigs of thyme. And sometimes you can get them with the stalks not so fully grown, so you can actually chop them in there as well. Okay, so with your thyme, just take your time with it as well, and watching your fingers as you're chopping. In you go there with your fresh thyme. Give that a good mix. Okay, and just the smell, the lemon, the citrusy, the fresh thyme in there is absolutely wonderful. Okay, with your garlic, we're just going to crush it. Now you don't even have to peel your garlic. These little crushers are the greatest inventions ever. Okay, so in you go with your garlic there, and then you're just going to crush that straight through. Just give that a little scrape, and then that's your butter good to go. Okay, so mix it around, and then we're going to get our full chicken here. What we've done again is we brought it to room temperature. That is key to cooking any type of meat at all, that you bring it to room temperature. I'm just going to get my little tray. Okay, get my chicken on there, and then with your lemon that you use to zest, slice that in half. Okay, and then one half goes in, and then the other half follows. Okay, in you go there. So it really does plump them up nicely as well inside there. With your butter, just get your spoon and place that all over your chicken. And just this is going to really get into all the crevices there. It's going to nearly tenderize the meat as well, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. So get your spoon. There we go. We're just going to add a little touch of salt and pepper to that, and that's good to go in the oven. A little bit of pepper. And don't forget then as well, to create a little bit of steam, you can also add a little drop of water all around. And that's your perfect roast chicken. Okay, so into the oven at 180 degrees for about an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes, and that will crisp up beautifully in the oven. Again, if you're afraid, if you want to cook it at a higher temperature, there's no problem, cover it in tin foil and taking it off the last 20 minutes, but I'm just going to leave that without tin foil for today. So the chicken's been in the oven for an hour and 30 minutes. We're going to take it out and then just hear that sizzle. You can smell the citrusy butter coming from it, which is absolutely beautiful. We're going to sit that on there. Now it's important that you let your meat rest, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that there for about 15-20 minutes to rest, and then we're going to carve it. You're going to take out them lovely lemons there and just squeeze the juice all over the top of your chicken. So get your tongs, squeeze that out, and that's going to seep in and give that lovely citrusy bit. You want to take the other one out as well, and you can squeeze it yourself. Okay, so just remove that. That comes out there, and then you let whoever's eating it squeeze that themselves all over their meat. Get your tongs just into the center of the chicken, lift them out, and then what you're going to do is remove your legs first. So just slice down, so you have one there, and then the other one on the other side. Take your time as well. So them lovely bits of crispy skin, the citrusy flavour, the lovely bit of garlic going in through the butter. Now it's really, really easy to carve your breast once you have the legs removed. Just slice it up in nice thin strips. And whoever's lucky enough to get the bit of skin on there, that is absolutely beautiful. Just remember, that chicken came from Shercock in County Cavan. Your craft butcher really does keep it local. So let's tuck in. Coming up in part 2, Brendan chats to me about his gourmet food to go and his success in branching out into hot food and delicatessen ranges. We also find out about Mallons' famous sausages. Later in the show, I will show you how to get on the good side of that someone special in your life with my mouth-watering breakfast. You've expanded out into a delicatessen. Tell us about it.
The delicatessen has a big part of our business now, Adrian. We have a lot of home-cooked meals are prepared every day. We have a full array of cooked product.
And it's all made here?
Every bit of it is made inside. We have a big team of girls and lads inside, which I must say are brilliant. They are so good.
How many staff do you have altogether?
Oh, in the shop here there's 22, 23 staff.
So you really are supporting local jobs here in the area?
Yes, we are, Adrian. We are. It is a substantial amount of people, but you know they're brilliant people. It's great that we're able to do it, and as I said, the sausage factory as well employs quite a substantial amount of people. But it's a business we're in, and it's a business we love, and it's a business we know.
And I'll take you up on that. You've mentioned your sausage factory, so tell us a bit about it.
Well, the sausage factory is built on the outsides of the town. We are supplying all major multiples and a lot of craft butchers as well. We're very, very proud of it. We're very proud of our sausage range and our sausage products. It has been a very much a successful story for us. Yeah. So it is. And it is headed up by my brother Paddy.
So from your great-grandfather's train crash to now, it's been a huge success.
Absolutely, Adrian, it sure has, and very much proud of it. But believe you me, there's been some tough times and some hiccups in between. But all in all, you know, yes, it has been. I do see an awful lot of changes in butchery and where it has come from and where it's going to. Okay. Some of the skills that I was taught as a child they're gone. But you know, it's part of where modern living and modern life is. That's where you have our delicatessen today. We've moved on. I was a butcher, but I've actually now trained as a chef under Adrian's guidance at times.
Under my guidance.
But that's where it has all moved to. But it has given us a great insight, you know, with our sausage business, with our chicken business. It has.
But even going back to talking to the customer as well.
Every day.
Information.
As part of my weekly routine. I'm on the counter. I meet my customers. It's so important. Yeah. It's so important to get a feedback from our customers. They tell us what's good, what's bad. Yeah. And the customer is king to us. That's why our business is successful.
You spoke about local producers. Tell me, where do you get all your produce from here in the shop?
Well, our beef is actually from our cousins of ours, Mallons. They have the abattoir, so that's ring fenced off. We get the best choice of meats all the time, so that gives us a great start.
That's a great connection to have.
The chicken industry, again, we're so lucky that Monaghan Cavan is the local hub of chicken production. We source here. Our Manor Farm is just a few miles up the road. Our lamb is, we have a local farmer that supplies in our lamb. So we support all local industry.
So Brendan, you spoke about being a butcher / chef, and everything you make in here is handmade.
Yes, Adrian, everything. Mallons, we are synonymous inside for making everything is homemade. We start at 7 in the morning, when in fact I start earlier, but the girls come in at 7 in the morning, and it is a full, tough day of producing fresh produce day in. We have so many different products. We have table-ready meals, have the lasagnas, shepherd's pies, spring rolls,
even party food and everything like that.
Our party range with our curries, we have so much food that's out there to go. I think there's somewhere in over maybe 200 products inside in the store.
Wow.
And it's just, to watch all this, to keep it all going, it's a full-time job and big responsibility. But listen, we love our game, that's what we do, and we're really happy to do it.
I also see there's convenience there of the self-service as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, Adrian. This is what is the progression of the modern butcher shop today has moved into a lot of self-service. I don't know if it's the times or it's the convenience, but it really does work. People, they come in, they lift the pre-packs, they can count what amount of product was in it, they see the price of it. The quality's there, believe you me, the quality is a given. But here we have to, you must remember that we need value. So you have the key ingredients to keep the thing right is the quality is given, but you need value as well, and that's very, very, very important.
Wow, so you're offering value and you're offering quality as well. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to get a little bit in the middle for us, which sometimes we don't get.
Brendan truly has a fantastic range of high quality fresh produce on display in his shop. From his pre-packed products to his gourmet to-go range, I really am spoiled for choice for what to bring home to Bomboy. I think I'll have to pick something to kickstart your weekend and get you into the good books. So breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This one here is caramelized bacon done with a little bit of hash brown in there. It's a treat, so it should be had maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday as well. Once a week is what I recommend. Again, we're using some beautiful streaky bacon here with some really good spuds or potatoes, and we have some onion in there as well. A little bit of cayenne pepper and some sugar. So what you're going to start with is your box grater. Get it on your chopping board there and get your potato and just grate that through. Just like that. In the meantime, you're going to heat on your 2 frying pans here. So back to your potato. Just grate it up. Watch your fingers as well, be very careful. So that's 1 potato in there. We're going to add in an onion there as well to it. So the onion really brings out a sort of savouriness of the potato and flavours it nicely in there as well. Grate that up. Okay. Now this is one thing you do need a teaspoon for, because this will get your eyes. So in you go there. If you have onion goggles as well, that actually helps. Okay, so, and then I think we're good there. So 1 potato, 1 onion in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze this through a tea towel and take all the starch out. So just tap that, get rid of that, and with your tea towel, you're going to get your onion and your potato mix in there. So a good clean tea towel when you're doing this, it's important. And then as well, what you do is you're going to get that and wait till you see all that comes out. So all that juice is coming out of there, and that's all that starch. So that would really stop it from going really wet on the pan, and it would add a lovely crispiness to your potato and onion. Take that out, just get rid of that. Okay, so get a little bowl and you're gonna get your onion and your potato in there. Okay? And then we're gonna season that. So it's important that any of your food you're making from scratch is seasoned with salt. Lose that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in some cayenne pepper. Okay, be careful when you're using this. I once made a dish before, I added in about 2 tablespoons of it and it will blow you away, trust me. Okay, so add in a tiny little amount of that there, literally half a teaspoon. And what we're going to do is we're going to give that a good mix, and this is going to go onto our frying pan and cook away nicely. So get your oil on there. Okay, good splash of oil. Turn the heat down. Okay. Turn the heat down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that in. So flatten it out nicely. Just with the back of the spoon, really. Okay, so in this frying pan here, we're going to add in some castor sugar, okay? Basic castor sugar is just granulated sugar, ground up. We're going to add that in there. So when you go with your castor sugar now, you're going to take this off the heat because it's going to form a caramel straight away. Okay, turn the heat down on this. And then we're going to add in some beautiful butter to it as well. So what I have here is I have some flavoured butter. I have some garlic butters with some pesto going through it as well. And my god, the smell of that. So that's going to add a lovely savouriness to our dish here. So our bacon is going to take on the beautiful pesto and the lovely bits of garlic in there as well. So we'll use a good bit of that. And we'll just chop it up as well into little pieces. So that's going to cool down our sugar once it's caramelized. And then we get our bacon on there, it's good to go as well. Again, a tip for you is never to put a metal spoon in there to stir that, as it will disrupt your caramel and it won't turn out as good. In you go with your butter. And then we're just going to add in our bacon now as well. So we have nice bits of streaky bacon there. They're going to go in. And they're going to caramelize absolutely beautifully. There we go. So just turn up the heat on your little hash brown. You're going to add a little bit more oil to it as well. So when you're adding oil to any frying pan at all, drizzle it around the pan. And then once it hits the center, it'll reheat again. Keep an eye on your bacon as well. When you're using bacon, make sure you get it from your local craft butcher, as what he's doing is he's dry curing it himself. What goes into a dry cure is just basically brown sugar and salt. It's left then for about 5 to 7 days to dry cure, and then it's good to be sliced into your lovely bits of rashers, bacon, your full bacon joints as well there. So they're absolutely beautiful. Look at the caramelization on your bacon there. Absolutely wonderful. Your rosti or your hash brown is good to be flipped. So we just get a plate. Get your tea towel and be careful when you're doing this. Get your plate, place it on top, and then just flip it over like so. Then what you do is get your hash brown, place that back onto the frying pan, and then you're away. So this will approximately take about 3 minutes on the frying pan here. Okay, so what we do is we get our little bit of hash brown. On you go there onto your plate. Just slide it off the pan. What helps is if you really use a good non-stick pan there for this. We get our little bits of bacon, which have caramelized up, taking on the lovely flavour, the savouriness of the bacon and the butter in there as well. Just place them in and around. And then what we'll do is that syrup there can be just drizzled all over. Give your plate a little wipe, because attention to detail is important as anything. And then just finish that off then with a lovely bit of fresh basil. So there you have it, folks. That's my absolute beautiful breakfast. That's the caramelized bacon with some hash brown in there. You cannot go wrong with that. As a chef representing the Craft Butchers Association of Ireland, I have the pleasure of travelling the length and breadth of the country working alongside craft butchers. Something I love to see is young people showing a passion for and getting involved in the art of cooking. While I was in Monaghan, Brendan had organised a cooking competition between 3 local schools. First up we have Christina from Beach Hill College, and she cooks beef stir fry with pickled cucumber and rice. Our second contestant is Sarah from St. Louis Secondary School. Sarah cooks us a beautiful chicken pasta carbonara. And finally we have Brínan from Closta Oriel, and she is cooking oriental honey pork stir fry with noodles. These young budding chefs show great culinary skills and excellent creativity in their cooking. It was fantastic to see such a massive support for our Young Chef of the Year in Monaghan, but unfortunately there can only be one winner. After spoiling our taste buds, both Brendan and I agreed that the winner was Christine from Beach Hill College. Christine's beef satay with pickled cucumber and rice was a deserved winner. Well done to all involved, and a big thank you to Brendan Mallons for his promotion of this fantastic event in encouraging young people to get cooking. If you would like more information or to get involved in my pop-up cookery school, please check out my blog, which is www.chefadrian.ie. We are running a competition where you can win your fantasy meal cooked in your home by me, Chef Adrian. All you have to do is tell us what your fantasy meal is. Enter your fantasy meal in your local craft butcher shop or online via info@craftbutchers.ie. For all T's and C's, visit www.craftbutchers.ie. No purchase necessary. It's time to put the kettle on. Coming up in part 3, Brendan gives us a demo in preparing his handmade chicken goujons. I also show you how to prepare a rack of lamb, and later myself and Brendan pop outside for some winter barbecue. So Brendan's going to show us how to make this beautiful Hilden Farm Foods goujons. So Brendan, start from the start. What do we do?
Adrian, we take this nice, beautiful piece of chicken fillet, and we actually just take it and we slice it into little slithers of goujons. But while we're doing it, we also make sure that there's any blemishes or skin or anything that's on the product we try to remove. So we do. Now, the other thing that we would also look for when we're doing here is we would look for no bone content. Sometimes there can be little wishbone.
Any little bits of bone.
Yeah, all
any of the blemishes at all. And the skin also comes off.
All comes off. Comes off.
Brilliant.
Now our chicken here is sourced locally from the local farmers. We have Manor Farm, which is just across the road in Chercop. So and again, it comes Monaghan Cavan is the capital of chicken in Ireland. So, yeah, believe it or not, it is the capital. So the other thing now, as we're just slicing this, that we're very careful for this bone content. Now, we are all human. Sometimes a bone could slip through, but in our packaging we state that the product may contain bone, but we don't.
You try your best to make sure there's
we're human. We're only human.
I'll give you a hand to get up these little ingredients.
The next stage we go to.
How many of the goujons would you do in a day?
Oh, we do quite a lot. We manufacture. We make a lot of goujons.
Yeah.
So we do. Now the next stage is that we actually take our chicken and we put it into the batter. So into our batter.
So what goes into your batter then?
So we have it's a milk and egg based simple batter, and there's a seasoning. There's a seasoning here as well that we put in.
So that's your secret recipe.
Our secret recipe. Secret recipe that goes in here.
So you're basically nearly panning the goujons as such.
Yeah. No, is that we blend. This is our breader, which is just a breadcrumb.
And it's like dehydrated
and dried. And then this is our flavour. This is our flavouring, total flavouring that will give it.
So it's nearly like a flour.
That's a flour with seasoning and peppers and a secret. It makes the product go golden brown. So it does. You can smell it.
You
can smell
the smell coming off them.
We have.
Folks, the aroma of this is absolutely amazing.
We'll just remove that.
Okay, so you mix all that around. In you go.
In we go.
And then you just nearly dip one by one.
One by one, that's the way it goes.
It's a long process.
It is a long process, and there's a lot
of work goes into it.
A lot of work goes into this. It is not a simple.
Brilliant. There you have it. So again, Brendan, what then do? You into the oven?
This product then, we flash fry this product. Flash fry it in rapeseed oil.
Okay, so it's good and healthy then as well.
It's a healthy product.
Nice healthy oil.
So it is. But here you can see it's healthy from day one. This is a whole muscle, pure chicken fillet.
And nice and lean as well.
Nice and lean.
So you're not having any fat content.
You're not having fat content.
Next up, I bring a rack of lamb home to Bombay, where I'll be showing you some culinary and butchery skills in preparing your lamb. Remember, if you don't feel comfortable doing this yourself, pop into your local craft butcher. Rack of lamb is like a specialty to craft butchers. It is absolutely to die for, one of my most favourite meals to have during the week. I'm just going to show you a little butchery of how it's French trimmed up for presentation in the counters. So, what you're doing is there's a little bit of bone in the side here which you want to remove. You'll just see it here. Okay, so that comes out. And it should just slide out for you. So if you want to do this at home, no problem at all. That just comes out of there. Nice and easy. So that bit there is not edible. Okay, so remove that. And then what we're going to do then is we're just going to look at the little chops there, and we're going to move up to about halfway. So move your knife up to halfway, run it along, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take off that layer of fat on the outside. Okay, so that comes off there. Nice and simple, and run your knife along the bone as well. Okay, just like that. So that's removed there. Normally what happens with that is any meat that's on it is trimmed off and then it's put into like lovely lamb koftas in the craft butcher shops. Then what you're going to do is run your knife either side of the bone. Okay, so just like that. This way. So either side of the bone. Take your time while you're doing it and mind your fingers and always cut away from yourself. So then what you're doing is you're just removing them little bits of meat from in between, and that just really tidies up your rack of lamb for you. And then there you have your lovely bit of rack of lamb all set to go. And then what we do then is we cut that into 3, just like that. So 3 nice little bits there, and 2 nice little bits there as well. So just crack through the bone, and there you have it. That's your beautiful bit of rack of lamb. That's the way it's presented in the craft butcher shops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cook it. Get in some oil. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to season your lamb before it goes on. So a nice bit of salt on there. Season it all over there and get that on your hot frying pan to fry off. So what you're doing is you're colouring the skin first on there. Depending on the time of year, depends on whether you should take off the skin on the outer layer or not. So if your craft butcher is using a female lamb, you can leave the skin on. If it's a male, you have to take it off because it causes a horrible smell in the kitchen. So I've been told by a lot of people they get put off by the smell of lamb. That is the reason why the skin hasn't been taken off. So I'll just give my hands a quick wash, and then we'll move on to making our breadcrumbs. Here we go. So just get your blender out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fill that with a nice bit of bread. So stale bread is actually the best for this. So if you leave it out in the room to go hard, it's actually the best because it gives it lovely crunchy breadcrumbs. Keep an eye on your lamb at the same time. That colour there is exactly what you want. Just move that to the side and seal it all around, okay? In you go then with some parsley in there. We're going to add some rosemary, so you can add in any herbs you want. This is like a herb crusted rack of lamb, so as many herbs as possible. We're going to add in some lovely basil in there as well. And on top of that, some beautiful fresh thyme. And then we'll just give that a quick whiz. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Them beautiful scented breadcrumbs, okay? Just have a look at that. The aroma coming off them breadcrumbs is absolutely amazing. Just remember to go back to your lamb and give it another turn on the pan. And see that golden colour on there? That's exactly what you're looking for. Colour is huge, huge flavour. So get your breadcrumbs onto a tray. Okay. And then what we're going to do then, once your lamb is sealed, what you're going to do is you're going to take it off the board. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush that with a bit of whole grain mustard. It's going to add a lovely sort of spicy kick to the lamb. And it brings out the real natural flavouring of it. So just brush that on the skin there, like so. And then we're going to dip this into the breadcrumb. Just like that, and it's like putting a lolly to some sherbet in there. That is unbelievable. I cannot wait to try it. With the lamb, you're going to place that on a rack, okay? So then that your breadcrumbs don't stick to the bottom of the tray. I'm going to place that on there. Then we're going to put that into the oven and leave that in there for about 35 minutes until it's nice and pink in the centre. So our rack of lamb is ready to come out. Just take that out. And just get a look at that. So we've taken on a lovely golden colour on there. I'm just going to get this one, cut straight through. From Bomboy back to Monaghan, myself and Brendan popped outside for some winter barbecuing. So myself and Brendan came out just to have a little go at a barbecue. And remember, when you're cooking anything on the barbecue at home, to bring your meat to room temperature before it hits it. If you cook it from cold, it'll overcook on the outside and undercook on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to reel it down. And if you're using a barbecue at home, again, what I'd say to you is coals in the centre and leave one side then clear. It's like a safe zone for you. So you're basically sealing here, getting a good colour on your meat, turning it and then into the safe zone really, so you can't go wrong, you won't get any burnt marks on it. If you notice that any flames are coming up from the juices of the meat, you can always bring the barbecue up like so. So this is a Trailblazer barbecue and it works really well. It's really easy to use. Before you put any of your meat on, again, what I'll say to you is brush a little bit of the rapeseed on it and a mixture then of salt and pepper. Okay? What you do is, I have a lovely bit of spatchcock chicken. So all I've done is I've removed the backbone. And again, a lovely colour in there. I also have some pork ribs and I'm going to marinate them as well. I also have a lovely strip loin steak. So just turn that. Some burgers on there. Get a good colour on everything first.
Adrian, how long would you give your spatchcock chicken to on the barbecue?
So I'd normally give it about an hour,
right,
and it cooks through nicely. A little tip for you actually is if you get like a tin or something like that, for instance, flip it upside down, you can cover the chicken and it cooks it through nice and quick for you as well.
Like in a tin foil?
Like a tin foil as well works
right,
nicely,
okay.
Or even like a tin, like a biscuit tin actually works really well as well.
But you have a variety of products here, and it's just they'll be all different times. So the chef, the chef really needs to be working at this stage.
He needs to be working, that's right. And I know it's an autumn's evening and all. It's a nice autumn's evening, but like in Russia, the barbecue all year round, so it works wonderfully. So in here, guys, I have a lovely marinade, okay? And what I have is some fresh herbs, some sweet chili in there, a little bit of tomato puree. I also have some chili flakes and a lovely bit of Worcester sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my chicken there and baste that over. And that's going to add lovely caramelization to the chicken. It's going to flavour it, it's going to seep in all the crevices there, and it's really going to give a huge flavour. So I'm looking forward to having a try of this. That'll crisp up nicely on your chicken. There we go. Smear that on. And again, the same on your ribs.
Now your flames are starting to rise here, Adrian.
So if you find your flames are starting to rise, what I'll say to you is you can either reel the barbecue up, just like that, okay? And that'll control the heat for you. You're not directly on top of the heat. You're not having that issue of burnt marks on your chicken like so.
Yeah.
If you're at home and you don't have anything to reel up, you can just move it to the side into the safe zone,
right,
like so.
Right.
Okay, and then you'll never have that problem again. Again, with the steak, how you know it's cooked, there's a little tip for you. Your index finger and your thumb together. So you press there, that's rare. Your next finger up is medium rare, so you notice the tension gets a bit tougher. So press on your steak with your tongs, press there, medium rare. The next one is medium, the next one is medium well, and then that's your well done there, okay? So anytime you're checking, have a look. Same for chicken, same for pork, and the same for lamb. Okay, so just have a good look at your chicken there. So myself and Brendan are going to enjoy this barbecue here. That's about it for tonight. Remember, I'm back again next week at the same time from my kitchen in Bonboy, County Cavan, and Associated Craft Butchers of Ireland. We are running a competition where you can win your fantasy meal cooked in your home by me, Chef Adrian. All you have to do is tell us what your fantasy meal is. Enter your fantasy meal in your local craft butcher shop or online via info@craftbutchers.ie. For all T's and C's, visit www.craftbutchers.ie. No purchase necessary. Coming up on next week's programme, I visit McArdle Meats in Dundalk, where I'll be chatting to craft butcher Keith Short on how he's taken over and expanded his family business. For all of tonight's recipes, visit www.chefadrian.ie, or you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Till next time, happy cooking.